Didn't know I was going to be first. Let's get this party started. So I didn't write anything. My illustration, if you open your books to the very last page, it's called I Am the Garden. I really don't know where to begin talking about this. Last night I was trying to figure out what the heck am I going to say about this. And I was watching a Tarkovsky film, and one of his characters, the writer, says the most selfless human endeavor is the creation of art. And I was like, I completely disagree with that. The most selfless, I think that creating art is one of the most selfish things you could do, and talking about it even more so. So, we're gonna make this quick. This drawing on this page, at least the copy of it, is about 4 inches by 5 inches. The original is about 8 inches by 5 inches, so it's not that much of a reduction. I've been accused of making photocopy reductions and showing them in my shows before because of all the tiny dots, but no, it's not really do draw that small. So I had a bad nightmare. And in the nightmare, I'm walking through a very dense foliage at night, and it's dark, and there's a little light way up ahead, so I start going towards the light, and then I find out that the source of light is coming from this lady's hand, or a little ball of light floating above her hand, and she is beautiful except for pieces of the skin and flesh have been removed from her face and torso with almost surgical precision. It was terrifying. It was horrible, and it burned into my brain, and I couldn't get it out. And this happens more often than not, and it's actually where most of my drawings come from, is the need to purge these images. And how it happens is I make a quick sketch, since I know it's not going to go anywhere, and as I start drawing and making a rendition, I realize that if I really try to draw it exactly how was my dream, no one's going to want to look at it, because it's so upsetting and disturbing, and I don't even want to look at it. So what can I do to make this less awful? And I started thinking about the terrain that this lady was in herself and all the flowers that are in there. And I started drawing the plants, and none of the plants, if anyone in here is a gardener, you'll see none of them are actual real specimens. They're all kind of inspired by things that grow around here or not. And I just kind of took off with it. And as I took off with it, I was saving the character in the foreground for last because I wanted to ruminate. And by the time I actually got to drawing her, she wasn't really scary anymore. And by the time the drawing was finished, none of it was scary anymore. And I was like, this is actually one of the most beautiful things I've ever drawn. And by the time it was all finished, the actual original terrifying image was gone from my head completely. And so in the translation, there was a bit of an exorcism, I guess. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know who's next, but thank you to Brandon, thank you to Jordan, thank you to Hendershot. Thanks for having me here.